All right, so if you look at these numbers, these are Michigan's new cases of COVID in the month of November. So what do you notice about some of these values? Do any of them seem kind of off? Robert? 6,000 down to what? 300? Yeah. Robert? Yeah, the data for every Sunday, if you notice, it tanks. Okay? So why do you think that is? Okay. It's rest day, according to God. Nobody goes out on Sundays. But what about actual testing? Are they testing people on Sundays, Brian? Yeah, so labs are typically closed Saturday and Sunday. However, if you go to a hospital, you can still get a COVID test. But this is why the numbers jump so drastically, is because Sunday, the only time you're getting tested and getting results back on a Sunday is if you're at a hospital getting tested typically, right? So does that logically make sense, like the patterns with the data? Okay. So, you'll notice, like, Mondays are typically really high, Fridays are kind of high as well. Like, especially, the week here of November 9th. Monday, 9,000. Friday, another 9,000. Middle of the week tends to drop down. So what happens is, they'll get new cases Mondays, because they were all processed, like, maybe over the weekend, they just didn't notify them, necessarily. Okay, so that's why you see the different jumps in the numbers. Does that make sense? But it takes you 3 days to get your results back, typically. Like, you can get a rapid test. But, like, I think my brother went and got a rapid test, and he had to drive, like, 20 minutes to get somewhere to get the rapid test. Like, it's not your normal go to CVS and get tested. Because even when I did that, it was make an appointment, go to CVS, take the cotton swab, tickle your brain, and then it took like 3 to 4 days for me to get results. I think my parents got tested last week. My dad got results back before my mom, and my mom did her test first. So it's different depending on each lab. And I picked Michigan's data because I'm from Michigan, and my parents literally just went and got tested. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to enter all of this in to our fancy-dancy little calculator, and we're going to run different regressions. This is why I had you write it down. So, first thing you must do, you ready? We need to turn on our diagnostic. Watch what I do. Actually, I'm going to make this bigger. Or don't go over here, please. That's cool. Hit second, 0. Got a giant list? Okay, you should see like a green letter D. Over here. See where my finger is? Green letter D. Hit it. Michael, you get to ignore me for the next couple minutes. Okay. So, it says day of the week, but we're going to scroll down to diagnostic. Okay? See it? It says diagnostic on. See it? So you're going to move your little arrow. Stop doing it at all. I want it on. Move your arrow, hit enter, and hit it again. And then it will say done. Now in theory, you should not have to do this very often. Unless your calculator battery dies, or it wipes the memory, or blah, 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 blah. Alright? However, once it's turned on, it stays on. Okay? So that's the first step. First step is making sure your diagnostic is on, because if you don't have this on, you will not get an R-squared value. Okay? Now's the fun part of entering stuff into a list. Ready? Hit stat. Alright, and then we're going to hit edit, which is our first option. Bless you. Now you'll notice I've already got all my data in there. Alright, does anybody not see list 1? All right, before you guys start entering stuff, put your calculators down for a second. Down. No buttons. No buttons. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys something. If you want to clear a list, you go up to the list, see how it's highlighted? You're going to hit clear. Okay? Then you're going to hit enter. What it'll do is it'll delete everything out of that list. Okay? Here's the problem. If you hit delete, oops, gotta go up. If I hit delete, I literally just killed the list. Okay? So if you notice over here, do not click delete. If you lost the list, to get it back, you'll hit stat. See how it says setup editor? All you have to do is hit 5 and enter. Go back into edit it. List 1 is back. Okay? So, you will eventually hit delete. Someone will cry. It's okay. You can get it back. But, I'm just saying, don't avoid it if you possibly can. Okay? So now, we enter data. 1, enter. Hence why I had you write it down on your paper, because it is easier to do it from your paper than it is to do it from the board. Okay, so if you enter your data here and here, just like they would, then we can run the regressions. So you'll just go 1, 2. Alright. Alright, so we're going to hit second catalog, hit D right here because it'll get you all of these, and then diagnostics. There you go. Yeah, hit enter. So clear, enter. How are we doing? Good? Yes? All right. So, once you do this, you want to make sure, see how I've got dash, dash, dash down here, dash, dash, dash down here? You need to make sure your lists end up being the same length. Because if not, it's going to get really angry with you and say, I can't do anything with it because you're missing like a y variable for an x, or vice versa. Okay? So, do you guys want to see how to actually get the scatter plot for it? Or do you care? Sure. Okay. So, you're going to hit second, y equals, and this will get you to what's called your stat plot. So what it does is it does the scatter plot for you. So I need to turn it on. Okay. Hang on. Hit second, y equals. All right, we're all going to turn on plot 1. All right, so you select 1, hit enter. Okay. And then you need to make sure it's on here. And then it'll do little dots. Okay? That's the type that I want. Okay? Isn't it? It should be selected like this. Box and whisker plots? Yes. Okay. So you're going to go second, y equals, enter to turn it on. Okay, ready? Ready? So now if you hit graph, it should look normal, right? You shouldn't see anything because we don't have any data points that show up. If you hit zoom, and then you hit, where is it? It's not zoom standard. Yeah, it's obviously, it's zoom stat down here at the bottom, number 9. See it? Okay, and you can hit enter. So, if you look at it, these 3 are Sundays, kind of screw up the whole data set, doesn't it? Got it. Yeah, terminology. Okay? So, if you're having trouble getting a scatter plot, that's how you get it. Now, let's say you're trying to graph an actual line, and you don't want to see these dots. Do you guys know how to turn it off? Same way you turned it on. Second, y equals, select which plot, and then click over and turn it off. That's it. All right. Now, the biggest thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is to run regressions, and then to tell me which regression is better and why. Okay? So, we're going to hit second quit. We're going to get back to our main page. Alrighty? Now we're going to actually run a regression. To do this, you hit stat, calc, and then here are all of your regressions. You've got linear, which is ax plus b, which is really mx plus b, same thing. You've got quadratic, you've got cubic, you've got quartic. Quartic is degree 4. Okay? So let's start off with linear. Linear is number 4. Now you guys know you don't have to hit the down arrow to get to 4, right? You can just hit the 4 and it'll pick it for you. Fancy. Now, when you do this, make sure it says X list, L1, Y list, L2. Okay? Huh? Yep. We're going to go down and calculate. And we're going to hit enter. So remember how you named your list? A. Okay. Then you can hit tab. Hit to the right and go to new cases. And then this last one down here, see how it says C? You got to make sure that doesn't have any data in it, which if you've never done this before, it doesn't. And we'll hit enter. And all your stuff is right up here. It should be about the same as what we got. Okay. Did you guys get the same numbers I did? Oops. You just need it once. There you go. Okay, so something's up with your list. All right. 337, 6634, 3364, 4327, 6010, 4287, 6283, 378, 9051, 6869, 6494, 74, 099, 7231, 499. All right, double check off the mic. Huh? Okay, all you gotta do is hit enter. Hold on. All right, we good? Everybody got something? Okay, so you have to hit stat, calc, linear regression. We're going to calculate. There you go. All right, so let's go back and kind of look at what we got. So this is your slope, the 199. This is your slope. This is your y-intercept. Now, if you look at my r-squared value, 9%. 9% of my data actually hits this linear regression. I feel like that sucks. Yes? So the vast majority of the time, like on homeworks or something like that, you'll get between 80 to 90% of your data that fits. Okay? The closer it is to 100%, the better it fits. All right? So on your homework, you would go, okay, fine. Here's my linear regression. It was y equals 199 point what? 65? I just want 2. And then plus, what was this part? Yeah, what's the b? Okay. And then r squared, we said was 0.092? 1, something. All right. So here's what we're going to do now. We're now going to check a quadratic. And we're going to see if that gets any better. Now, once you've entered your data once, you do not need to go back and enter it again. So, all we're going to do is we're going to go stat, calc, quadratic is number 5. I'm not changing x, I'm not changing y. Hit enter and calculate. My r squared value went up to 21%. It's better than 9, right? ax squared plus bx plus c. Does this make sense? I know, they're nasty. But I've already done all of your homework for 3.6, and there are some that are terrible, but I wrote them all out. So that way you guys know, like, okay, I'm not crazy. These numbers just kind of suck. Okay? But does this make more sense? Like, which one? Cubic? Quartic? Alright, so, if you're trying to justify it to me, and the argument is, okay, I can run a quartic regression, which is number 7, and I'm up to r squared being 0.56. So remember, a quartic regression is like that, right? Sunday is a peak, goes up during the week. Next Sunday, another dip, goes back up during the week. Yes? Ryan? Yes. And your justification is because this matches 56% of my data. That's it. That's all I need for justification. Entering all the data into your calculator. Yeah. That's the worst part.